Hello, my name is Pastor Carl Hudson, and this brings us to our third element, which I consider to be one of the most important elements of all, but I say that about all the elements, but I think that when you hear me talk about the reason that you'll understand. I'm just going to give you an overview of what we call element 3, and the title of element 3 is A Good Man Leaves an Inheritance for His Children's Children. So you can see why that's important. Now remember, element 1 is that you have to figure out how to have a harvest to make the money. Element 2 is you have to be an honest person and pay the people that actually worked to bring in that harvest, including God and tithing. And now we come to the most important thing in your life, which should be your children. And so a wise man, according to Proverbs 13 and 22, Solomon says, a wise man or a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. Now notice two words. One is inheritance. I'm not going to try to teach on this. I want to get back just doing the introduction here. But an inheritance, to leave a large sum of money, is not necessarily an inheritance. But an inheritance, we'll talk about and tell you what that's all about. How you develop an inheritance so that it's protected and then it's passed on to your children's children. Not to your children, but to your children's children. So so just leaving money is not it. A true inheritance actually involves wisdom. So a father should have the ability to teach his children wisdom. And wisdom is more valuable than gold. So you can see why an inheritance that consists of wisdom is the greatest. And then the third thing, and that is Jesus actually gives a statement. And let me give that to you. I actually want to read it to you. It's out of Luke 12, chapter 12, verse 42 through 43. And here's what Jesus says. And here's what this is. The statement here is, who then is the faithful and wise manager? So when it comes to finance, you don't just spend it, you plan it, and then you manage it. And so that's exactly what you're going to be teaching your children. But let me give you this passage, because Jesus is talking about a person who has been put in charge of management. And this is beginning at the 42nd verse of Luke 12. It says, the Lord answered, who then is the faithful and wise manager, whom the master puts in charge of his servants to give them their food allowance at the proper time? Verse 43, it will be good for that servant whom the master finds doing so when he returns. So this whole thing of management, this is a God thing. This is a biblical thing. Would you ever wonder why wasn't you given a class at church called management? Okay, business management. Business management should be taught by the church. The world cannot teach you business management. Here I am teaching it again, and I just wanted to give this as an illustration so that you know what you're getting when you get into element 3. It's so important. Think about this. You work all of your life, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, and then you leave everything to your children that you love, and you really love your grandchildren. Some of our children, we have to learn to love them, but our grandchildren, we just automatically love them, and the grandchildren can do no wrong. But then you die and you leave whatever it is that you have for them, and the children don't know how to manage it, and so they blow it. So most young people, like myself and probably like you, end up trying to go to college with no money. Matter of fact, I just had a call from some people trying to figure out how to get money for a student loan for college. Well, that is the introduction to this. I hope that you'll enjoy and make this your number one. If somebody was to say, what's the most important thing in your life? You really should say, to be a father who can leave an inheritance for my children's children. Thank you.